Hello, Bryan Hargreaves here again, and Will Unger.
Hello.
My good friend. Here we go. So the next segment, we're going to take exactly the same repertoire that we did in the previous lessons. If you take a look at those, we took some odd stickings, 5 and 7, and played them firstly on the snare drum, heard them inside a crotchet pulse, then we orchestrated them around the toms, orchestrated them on the cymbals, mixed them up, alternated them. What I'd like to do next is another variation, and again more mileage out of the same idea, is just move them around the bar. So instead of starting these things on beat 1, you know, we're going to play, say, 1 or 2 notes before that, so that the first accent does not land on 1. It may land on a 1 E or a 1 and or a 1 A. So let's try that. Let's try 5s, but I'd like you to start with a double stroke in your left. So essentially, what that means is the double stroke takes up 1 E and is where the first accent of the 5s land. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
Let's try that again, using the same parameters as we did in previous clips. Let's try that over a 2-bar setting.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Great. And by now, in previous clips, it's become quite difficult to hear, you know, where the bar line, where 1 is really. What's happening now over the course of time and more familiarity with this phrase is you're getting to grips with that without having to count. So that will happen for you. You know, you just get more familiar with it and you start to understand and feel naturally where beat 1 is. That's great. Well done. Let's try the same with 7s. But this time we're going to try and displace it just by a semiquaver. So instead of a double stroke, taking up 1 E before the first accent, we're just going to play a single stroke.
Okay. Right. Okay?
So your first accent will land on the E of 1. Does that make sense?
Fun.
And we're doing 7s.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, what you did there was play the snare note as an anacrusis. So I'd like you to make that single stroke that's displacing the whole thing by 1 semiquaver. I'd like that to land on 1. So it'd be like this: 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. You know, 7s.
Okay, right.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Excellent. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. So no, it's okay. As in previous clips, you know, he's not as familiar with this. He's familiar with 7s, but again, it's kind of, we're partly familiar with the phrase. We can hear it against the pulse, but understanding where beat 1 is something that we have to try and integrate into what we're doing. So the way around that is to count again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Well done. That's fantastic.